small towns to big cities and everywhere in between. We're covering the great things that are happening right now in the USA. This is Positively America with Ernie Anastas.
And hi everyone, I'm Ernie Anastas. Thank you so much for joining us again. Even if you found us by chance, we hope you'll enjoy and appreciate a sparkle of positivity in your life. You know, there really are things we can do every day to help us live a more hopeful, rewarding life. Some of them may seem simple, but even the littlest change can be beneficial. Maybe it's finding a new hobby, a fun show to watch, going for a hike, or maybe even a nice walk. Well, how about planning a trip? It always seems to be a great idea, and traveling has changed in many different ways. It's still fun to explore, but many parents today are using travel as a great way to teach kids about other cultures and help them to appreciate the diversity of our human world. I think you're really going to enjoy this right now. Let's bring in our travel expert, Laura Begley Bloom. I'm always ready to travel, Laura, and nice to see you.
Great to see you, Ernie.
You know, travel is wonderful. I mean, this is what you do. I mean, this is your beat. And I know you have a lot of things to share with us, but let me ask you something. The idea of using travel to teach our kids diversity and culture, that's a pretty good thing to do, isn't it?
Absolutely. Ernie, as you mentioned, travel teaches kids so much about the world and other cultures. It also teaches kids to be compassionate, to be open-minded, and to have respect for others. I truly believe that if more people traveled, the world would be a better place. And there are some other benefits as well. There's a link, according to studies, between travel and high grades in school. And one survey showed that people who travel as children make 12% more money as adults.
Wow. I mean, that's interesting stuff. I mean, when you start talking about, you know, the broad values here, relationships, school relationships, doing better in school, how can you not want to do something like that? This is great.
Absolutely. You know, Ernie, I've got a 9-year-old, and I've been taking my 9-year-old on international trips with me since she was just 3 months old. She got her first passport when she was 3 months, and we went to Jamaica. I've also taken her everywhere from Morocco to Spain to see the running of the bulls. But one of the most impactful trips that we did was to Japan. My husband and I took her there when she was 6. And you know, you might not usually think of taking a 6-year-old to Japan, but in fact, it is one of the most family-friendly places on earth. And I really believe that it helped open my daughter's eyes to understand and appreciate the beauty of the other ways that people live.
Well, you know, you mentioned Japan. That's one great idea. Any other thoughts that you have for families who are watching us now and saying, I want to take advantage of this and learn about different cultures? What do you suggest, Laura?
Well, I think it's really important to plan trips that speak to your child's passions, but also to try to link them into things that they're learning at school. For instance, right now, my daughter is obsessed with the Percy Jackson novels. So we're taking her to Greece to learn all about Greek mythology. I am also obsessed with a company called Lindblad Expeditions. And this is part of a whole trend regarding educational travel, but also fun at the same time. They have a really great partnership with National Geographic called the National Geographic Global Explorers. And these are trips that are done for kids and teens. And they go everywhere from the Galapagos to Alaska to Baja to Antarctica. And they hook the kids up with naturalists, and they learn at the same time that they're having fun.
Great stuff. All right, some people might say, all right, Laura, I love these ideas and I'm making a list, but what about, you know, closer to home? I'd like to be able to think about that. What do you suggest?
Well, you don't need to get on a plane to teach your kids about other cultures and about travel. Most of us live near cities that have diverse neighborhoods. So you could go to a restaurant in one of those neighborhoods and teach your kids about food from other cultures. Or you could go to a holiday celebration, say in the local Chinatown, and your kids can learn all about the Chinese culture. So there are just so many great opportunities that are in your own backyard.
Okay, let me ask you this now. Money. What about saving money? Some tips on that, because you're very good at this.
Oh my gosh, there are so many ways to save. And in fact, travel has gotten expensive lately. I think one of the things that I love is to do RV trips. You can rent a RV with a company called outdoorsy.com, which is like the Airbnb of the RV world, and go out and check-out places that are close to home. It's also a great idea to just search around online and try to find great deals, bargain shop wherever you're going, and read the reviews wherever you're headed. And you also don't have to even leave home if you really want to save money.
Right.
You can teach your kids all about travel by cooking foreign meals at home, by reading online, by reading books about other cultures. There's so many ways to immerse your kids in the world. There are also some products that I'm really excited about that help bring the world to your home. There's one called Little Global Citizens. This is a subscription box service that comes every month and has games and language skills for kids.
Wow.
There's also a
Lori,
food-based box.
a wealth of ideas.
Yes.
I love it all. I really appreciate it. Happy travels to you and your family. Thanks, Laura.
Thanks, Ernie.
Coming up, a celebrated actor known for a film role that continued into his real life when Positively America continues. Hi, everyone. I'm Ernie Anastas. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the show. I want to tell you about a special guy. He has worked with Vietnam veterans groups for a long time. It grew into the 90s with his portrayal of Lieutenant Dan Taylor in the hit film Forrest Gump, formed an enduring connection with service members throughout the military community. Now, he has worked tirelessly on behalf of disabled American organizations. He is an amazing guy. I want to welcome right now Lieutenant Dan, better known as actor and director Gary Sinise.
Thank you, Ernie. I'm thrilled to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, it's wonderful. You truly embody positivity throughout your work with the Gary Sinise Foundation, where your motto is, we can always do a little more. What motivates you?
I would say it's the people that I met in New York because of what happened on September 11th, and the firefighters that I met, and police officers, and people that had been at Ground Zero and all of that. They are the primary reason that we have such a deep outreach. We have a first responder outreach at the Gary Sinise Foundation, and our mission supports departments all over the country. I mean, when you think about it, New York City has a big budget. You know, a lot of firefighters,
Sure.
a lot of people there. It's a big city. But most of the departments around the country are volunteer departments. They don't have big budgets. They don't have trucks. They don't have things they need. So
Right.
we get applications daily, and dozens of applications from small departments that need assistance. And you know, they're saving lives. And there are fires and car crashes and all
You
kinds
bet.
of things everywhere across this country. And they might not have the jaws of life to get somebody out of a car. So we can provide that with them. A lot of things have gone into the creation of the Gary Sinise Foundation.
Well, you also have another charity, and it's called the Snowball Express, which is for Gold Star families, trips to Disney. Really terrific. Tell our audience all about that wonderful program. It's great.
Oh,
stuff.
it's terrific. I got involved with this organization called Snowball Express, within the first year that they started. And it was back in 2006 that they started. It was kind of motivated by a letter from a soldier who had been killed that said, if anything happens to me, make sure you take the kids to Disneyland. We always wanted to go there. And so a trip was put together for a bunch of Gold Star kids in 2006. And then I found out about it and got involved in it. And then when it became a part of the Gary Sinise Foundation, we moved it to Disney World. Now we take over 1,000 kids to Disney World every year. Of course, we couldn't do that for 2020 and 2021.
Sure.
But we're headed back there in December.
Good.
And we've got a lot of programs that are specifically focused on the children of our fallen heroes.
Oh, love it. So, Gary, very simply, what keeps you motivated and positive, my friend?
I found years ago that service was, I say this in my book, Grateful American, A Journey from Self to Service. After September 11th, I remember going to our little Catholic church, and I was standing on the side. There were no seats. I'm holding my little daughter's hand, and tears are streaming down my face, and my heart was broken, and I was just aching, and I just heard something, either in what the priest said in his homily, or I remember he said this has been a tough week, but I do remember something so fundamental about service and how it can heal a broken heart. And that was a turning point for me. And I started just going into service work and volunteering to help all these organizations that were in the service business, in the nonprofit service business, and reaching out wherever I could.
Wow.
And trying to do whatever I could. And that did lift me up. And, we have our challenges here in the Sinise house. There's no question about it. We have all kinds of things going on. But I stay focused amidst those challenges in just trying to do something positive, and that kind of lifts me up even through difficult times.
You're incredible, Gary, truly inspiring. You've shared your heart with us today, and other people watching want to get involved. How do they do that? How can they help out?
Absolutely. Learn about us at GarySiniseFoundation.org. I always recommend that people go to the YouTube channel on the Gary Sinise Foundation, because there's dozens of wonderful videos that show our programs in action, from our World War II focused programs to our Snowball Express children's programs to our homes for our wounded, which is called RISE, Restoring Independence, Supporting Empowerment. That's our RISE program, building houses for our wounded. We're doing all kinds of things. So I encourage people to go to the website, check out the foundation programs.
You bet.
On the YouTube channel, scan around. And support us if you can. We're passing that good generosity on to others.
Gary, thank you so much for your incredible work.
Thank you, Ernie.
And we're back with more Positively America. I'm Ernie Anastas. It's no surprise that we've noted for a long time that not only do our pets become part of our families, but they also help us to live longer and healthier lives. My next guest has 20 years of veterinary experience working with pets and their loving owners. She spent nearly 10 years as an emergency veterinarian, then served as chief medical officer at AAHA, that's the American Animal Association. And so happy to see Dr. Heather Loenser joining us on our show. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you.
Oh, I'm so great, Ernie. So nice to see you.
We've talked many times about this subject, and it's a wonderful thing for families to hear about. We live longer, we live healthier. I mean, having a pet is just such a blessing, isn't it, Heather?
It really, really is. And science is helping us understand why that is, especially around the areas of mental health. I think it's fascinating that owning a pet actually changes our hormone levels. It increases our oxytocin, which is a love hormone, decreases cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and decreases epinephrine, which is the hormone that shows up when we're in fight or flight, in extreme stress. And all of those together do improve our health long term.
Well, this is what you do. This is your life. You're always working with pets, and, families and so forth. But, there's such a broad subject here because they use pets, in hospitals and other places for therapy. And that really makes a big difference to a lot of people, doesn't it?
It really does. And intuitively, it makes sense that seeing a dog or a cat when you're in a stressful situation just makes you feel more cozy and at home. But in long-term care facilities, there's data that shows that it actually lowers depression rates, increases interactions between patients. They smile more. They're more sociable. They're more helpful, and it can actually benefit anyone that's in conventional therapy. And there was one study done that showed that when 460 patients recovering from a heart attack, having pets around decreases depression, which can be linked obviously to mortality.
You hear these stories and, you just want to go out and get yourself a pet if you don't already have one. It's great. Talk to me a little bit about children, on the autism spectrum, because that helps them a lot, and a lot of other children as well. This is very important, Heather.
It really is. Children that have autism can sometimes have difficulty in social situations, but animals don't judge, and animals connect at a deeper, almost visceral level. So children on the spectrum can benefit by having animals, and even therapy animals, to increase their social functioning, their social awareness, interaction, and motivation. And then it can just be, frankly, it can be a bridge. When you come to a playground and you have a dog with you, people come up to you. And for anyone struggling with loneliness or social anxiety, it's a great almost social lubricant.
No, it's a wonderful thing. I like the way you put that. And the thing is, we're just talking about children, but it also impacts all ages. You were talking about people who are in healthcare facilities, children, families. So it really is such a broad spectrum of how they can really help us all. And I love the information that you're giving us. Yeah.
Well, a lot of this has been obtained by the Human Animal Bond Research Institute, or HABRI, and their whole goal is to get the word out from a scientific standpoint on the benefits of pets. So anyone interested in learning more about the true data behind this can go to HABRI, HABRI.org. It's one of my favorite websites to kind of nerd out on all the benefits of pet ownership.
Say that one again. Repeat it. I like to hear that.
Sure. HABRI, HABRI, or the Human Animal Bond Research Institute. There's actual people that study all of this.
Okay, and we were talking about, how it helps us, through depression or anxiety and so forth. But even if you're not having those problems, all right, even if you're not having that problem, you still can get the benefit of having this pet as a friend, as a companion, right?
Absolutely. And it gets you out of the house, gives you a sense of purpose. Like, I have to get out to go walk the dog. My dog is at my feet right now. So I have a buddy with me when I'm working. And it can get people out and connecting with neighbors. Again, the whole having an animal as a social lubricant to make someone feel more comfortable talking to another person is something that I think we recognize but don't really dive into. And loneliness, if we learned anything in the epidemic, is the importance of combating loneliness. And having a pet can really help with that. You bet.
Social lubricant. I love that very much. Good stuff. Dr. Heather, we enjoy having you with us. I've had a few pets, as you know, and I love them. I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you so much for joining us. You're always a pleasure to have on the program, okay?
Take care and be well and love on those animals, everybody.
Bye-bye. All right. After a short break, Billy Floyd is asking America what's really hard to say no to. Your kids, your loved ones, maybe something else. What do you think? Coming right back with some answers on Positively America.
Welcome back to Positively America. I'm Billy Floyd. This week, we're asking America, it's really hard for me to say no to...
Someone asking for help.
That's a phenomenal answer. Now, give me an example.
If I'm in the position to help somebody achieve a career goal or further themselves, why can't I be that person to help?
I guess my kids, when they want something, and they want a lot.
Give me an example.
Oh my God, money. Mostly money.
Going to my friend's house.
What do you like to do at your friend's house? What's so fun about it?
I don't know, we always just play, have fun. If they have a pool, we go swimming. And usually, I like their parents' food. I love when people make food for me.
Mrs. Kelty's chocolate chip cookies.
Now, who's Mrs. Kelty, and why are these cookies so good?
Well, Mrs. Kelty, Colleen Kelty, she's my next door neighbor, and her cookies just blow Mrs. Fields out of the water. They're absolutely perfection, and no one can replicate them.
Hazelnut vodka.
Charities. Constantly, people are asking me to be on boards, and I can't say no, so I just keep doing it. And then I find that my husband gets really mad when I'm constantly doing something for a charity.
It's really hard for me to say no to making a new connection. We'll see you next time on Positively America. I'm Billy Floyd.
Thank you, Billy. Loving the questions and the answers, of course. All right, here's a little time for you and me. It's another really good thought I have for you. Most of my messages to you are about attitude, a positive way of thinking that sets the tone for everything. Let me get really specific. Before you fall asleep, think about the things that you're grateful for. What do you appreciate, and what continues to bring joy into your life? This is a great way to fall asleep. Yeah, and here's my added little secret. Don't think about what needs to be done when you wake up. Write it down before you go to bed. Here's what I do. I make a little short list before bedtime, and this way I know it's in writing, and I'm going to deal with it in the morning. You know what? I sleep better, having the confidence that I'll accomplish what needs to get done. Now, this is especially true and comforting if you're forming the habit of going through your list and actually getting it done. All right, here's another good tip. Go to sleep feeling happy. This can be done by simply reading something, watching, or talking about something that makes you feel good and puts a smile on your face. See, whatever you have on your mind will marinate during the night and impact how you feel when you wake up in the morning. It's called the law of attraction. Close your eyes. Imagine something good. Wake up the next day ready to go. I'm Ernie Anastas. We'll see you next time, and stay positive, America. I know you can do it.